Hi everyone, welcome to this tutorial where we're going to take a look at how to use Dynamo to place a family instance at world coordinates. In this current project here, you can see we have a simple domestic house structure. And at the minute, you'll notice this is georeferenced to British National Grid. So you'll see here that we have a spot coordinate showing the easting and northing at the corner of this roof. This model is, as I say, georeferenced, so here you can see the orientation is set to true north. However, if I set this to project north, of course the coordinate doesn't change, but this is how I want to present this on a drawing. Let's now switch this back to true north. And what we'll now do is actually look at this plot on the survey. So this is plot number 63. So if we just go ahead and take a look at the survey in AutoCAD, you can see here that this is currently our plot, so number 63. And of course you can see the rotation matches. What I want to now do in my Revit model is actually display this survey station as a 3D model. Okay, so you can see here this is currently station 2 and we have the easting, northing and the level of that station. A little bit further down the road you can see that we have another survey station. This is station 1 and again we have the easting, northing and the height of that station. So my intention here is to get Revit to actually place a 3D family in here so we can actually check that in products such as Navisworks or, it will be exported out to an IFC file. Now, of course, to place out families in Revit at real world coordinates is very difficult. So let's now create a simple Dynamo script that will do this for us. So we'll begin by starting Dynamo. So we'll go ahead and select the Manage tab. And on the Manage tab in the Visual Programming panel, we'll go ahead and select Dynamo. So on the Start screen, we'll go ahead and click New. To begin, we need to actually get the project base point information. To do this, we'll open up the Revit shelf, and then we'll go to Selection. And a nice easy way of doing this is to go ahead and select Categories. And of course, the category we're after is Site Project Base Point. So here I can begin to type in the name site, and then we can just scroll down and select Site Project Base Point. I actually want to get all elements of category. So again, from the same selection submenu, I can select all elements of category. We'll wire these two nodes together. And of course here you can now see that I have that base point for the project base point. If we take a look at this property set in Revit, we'll actually see the parameters that we want to retrieve. So I'm going to select the project base point here in Revit, and you can see here I have north-south, east-west, and the angle to true north, which I want to actually retrieve. So to do this, we'll get parameter value by name. In the Revit shelf, now we'll expand the Elements submenu. We'll then scroll down to the Element, and under the individual element menu, you can see here we can get a parameter value by name. So of course we can wire in our element in here. Of course this will always be a single element because we're just getting the project base point. And now we can go ahead and create a code block to declare the 3 parameter names that we want. So let's double click here to make a code block. So that's a double left click. And here we'll actually now create a list of our strings. So to make a list, we'll start with the left-hand square bracket, and then we'll use Shift and 2 to create an open quotation. And here we can now start to type in our string. Of course, this has to exactly match what we have in Revit. So this is going to be east-west. And then we separate each element with a comma. So you can now see, let me just zoom in a bit here. So we have east-west. Now we want north-south, so again, this has to match exactly as this is in Revit. And then we want angle to true north. So again, comma to separate that. And then we can type in angle to true north. To finish the list, we'll create another square bracket just to close that list off. And then we'll use a semicolon to signify the end of the line in the code block. And of course, you can now see here, we have those 3 simple strings created. Now, if we look at the parameter name, we can see this is expecting a string. So if we feed that in here, you'll notice then we get the output. Now, at the minute, you can see that I've only got one value, which happens to be the easting. We need to change the lacing to longest because clearly here we're putting in 1 element, but we're putting in 3 elements here. So we'll go to our lacing and we'll set this to longest. Notice the graphic here is now displaying that longest list. And you can see here we now have our three parameters. So I have my easting, my northing, and my angle to true north. Let's just check that this correlates with Revit. So we'll select our project base point in here. And of course we can either read this directly from the on-screen information in the Revit model or from the properties palette. And of course here we can see that that actually matches. Great, so we now have that project information. So the next step is where we want to create an input for the actual ordnance survey coordinate. To do this, I'm just going to use a simple number node. In this case, I'll search for this. So I right mouse click and I'll type in number. Okay, we can see here we have the create number. So this is going to be my coordinate system easting. So I'm going to rename this just by double clicking the node. And here we'll type in CS easting. We'll just copy this to create a northing as well. And here I'll just change this and this will be northing. Okay, so there are our two inputs. Now what we'll do here, rather than starting with zeros, just so we can actually check that the script is going to operate correctly, we'll actually paste in the values from our AutoCAD survey. So let's switch back to AutoCAD. And here I'll start by creating station 1. So I can see down here we have the easting and northing for station 1. So I'll start with the easting and I'll just right mouse click here and select edit. So I'll make a copy of this and I'll paste this into our first number. So we'll click in here and then do Control V to paste this in. And we've got to remember that actually in Revit we're in millimeters. So I'm just going to remove that decimal place. And of course I'll repeat that whole process for the northing. So we'll select the northing, we'll use edit here, we'll grab that information and use Control C to copy that to the clipboard. And again, I'll switch back into Revit and Dynamo, and we can just then use Control V to paste that value in, remembering again to remove the decimal place. Okay, so we now have the easting and northing coordinates. What we now need to do is deduct those from the easting and northing here. So to do this, we'll go ahead and open up the math shelf and we'll then go into operators. And here you can see that we have subtract. So we can actually put in the easting into the Y, but now what we need to do is be able to isolate this first item in the list. Again, to help me do this, I'll just create a simple code block. And a nice easy way to do this is we can just declare a variable. I'll call this one C for coordinate. And then in square brackets, we can put in the index that that resides in. So in this case, that resides in index 0. So we can put that list in. And now I can see I have gone ahead and isolated that easting. And of course, that can go into this value in X. And what that does is that then generates the X coordinate from that survey point. We'll now copy this node and do the same for our northing. So we can select this, hold down the Control key, and just drag. And that will make a copy of that Dynamo node. Of course, we now need to isolate the item at index 1. So I can just make a copy of this bit of code here. I'll do return and I'll paste that in here. And of course, now we're going to get that coordinate at index 1, which is this output here. We can then take this value over here. So that's obviously our northing. And what we should now have again is the Y value, which in this case is 82 meters. Of course, we'll also need the rotation angle as well. And you can see that's currently at index 2. So we can actually prepare for that. We can make a copy of this line here. And we'll just change that to index 2. And now you can see that's getting 38.65, which is my rotation angle. What we now need to do is create a coordinate system at these two coordinate locations. So the idea is we'll create a coordinate system here. We'll then rotate that coordinate system to actually match our site rotation. And of course, that will give us the transform we need to actually place down our family instance at that real world coordinate. So let's first create our coordinate system. So to do this, we can go to our geometry shelf, and things like coordinate systems, work planes and vectors are actually abstract. We don't actually create those as a three-dimensional object. So here you can see that we have a submenu for our coordinate system. And here we want to just create a coordinate system by origin. Now in this case, I'm just going to use origin X and Y. So of course here we have the X coordinate and the Y coordinate, so I can just feed those two in here, and you'll now see that we have that coordinate system. However, you can see here that the input lies outside of our modeling range. So we often need to change this in Dynamo. So I'm going to go to my Dynamo menu. I'll go into preferences here. And we can see that we have geometry scaling. Notice it's set to medium, which is only 10,000 units. So that's basically 10 meters. I'll just go ahead and select extra large here. And we should see that that purges that problem. So we now have our coordinate system generated. Now, in fact, what actually happens is the project rotation is actually done from the internal project base point. So what we need to do here is create another coordinate system at Revit's internal origin. So, a few ways we could do this. We could actually say by origin, and then we could just create 2 points, which would be 0 and 0, and that would do that. Or we can just use identity, and this will actually just create a world coordinate system at the origin, which of course would always actually be the origin of Revit because that's fixed. So you can see here we now have that coordinate system created, and you may have just seen this little icon appear down here. That's actually the coordinate system. Now we can jump ahead a little bit here and think about this rotation. So if we look down through the coordinate system sub-menu, you should see here that we have the option of rotating, and I've got two methods here. Just increase my node library just so we can see this, and you can see I've got by the origin declaring an axis and a number of degrees that I want to rotate around. So that's the one I want because I want to specify the Z axis, of course, which would always be Z, to rotate around. So what we can do here is you can see it's asking us for the coordinate system that we want to rotate. Well, of course, that's this one here. It's then asking for the origin. Now, the origin will basically be the 0, 0. And what I can do here, if I look down at the coordinate system sub-menu, the green plus means I'm creating. The yellow strike of lightning means I'm performing a modification or an action on something. And the blue question marks are queries. So here you can see that I can actually get the origin of a coordinate system. So I'll do that. I'll take this coordinate system across. You'll notice here that that then generates a point. I believe that, yeah, this is actually asking for a point. Notice here that I can see that that's red. So that means it actually needs an input. So we can just feed that in, and that's now turned blue. We also need the Z-axis. Now again, I can actually steal this from the coordinate system identity because that needs to be fixed at the Z position. And you can see here, we can just get here the Z-axis. So let's do that. There's the vector, and I think that should be asking for a vector. So an axis is just a vector. And there we are. And the final thing we have to do is actually place in the rotation angle. Now to do this, we know that this little code block here at this location is getting that rotation. So what we need to probably do is transform it by 90 or 180 degrees. So in preparation for that, I'll create a code block. And I'll just put in a variable to represent our rotation. In this case, I'll just type in ROT for rotation. And I can then take a wire into that code block here. And now I can take an output directly over here. Now I'll probably actually need to deduct 180 from that. So I'll just go ahead and do that. So we'll just put in minus 180. And now we have our transformed coordinate system. The final part, of course, is to actually place a family at that ordnance survey coordinate. So this is going to be from the Revit shelf. So we'll scroll down here and we'll open up the Revit shelf. First thing we'll do here is we'll give us an option to actually select a family. So we'll go to selection. And here you can see that we have family types. Now, of course, you could be inserting any type of family in here. Well, I say any type of family. It would have to be something with a single insertion point. But in my case here, I actually want to use my survey family that I've got set up for this. So I'll go ahead and select that. So you can see here we have survey station. That's my one there. But again, you can build your own family for that. And finally, I just need to place a family instance at that coordinate system. So to do that, we can go to the Elements sub-menu. We can then go to Family Instance because that's what we're working with here. And you can see I can do that by Coordinate System. Okay, so we can put in our family type and then our coordinate system. Okay, so I can see that's now placed out that component. So let's just take a look inside Revit here. If we zoom out a little bit, I'm kind of hoping, there we are, I can see that survey point there. And if I pick that, I can now see that I could actually now transfer the easting and level and everything across from there. These are just shared parameters, and that's ST1. So I hope you found that useful. This is certainly something that's helped me in a number of different projects. Speak to you soon.